Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this press conference of Nordic and Baltic Prime Ministers. And because Norway holds the presidency of the Nordic countries of ministers, we let Norway to begin, please.
Thank you very much. I think that the Nordic-Baltic 8 is more important than ever in today's foreign and security policy situation. I think what we have developed through this cooperation is a way of talking politically together between our countries on contribution both to the regional, European and transatlantic unity. And in this meeting we have had the opportunity to discuss a wide range of different regional and international issues, global security trends, energy security, the UN, but also how we should develop even further on new areas. As you know, we are living in a period of heightened tension and unpredictability. That means that closer security policies between the Nordic and Baltic countries is a way to enhance the security of the Baltic Sea region. And this is also why Norway has focused primarily on the security policy issues during its term as the coordinating country for the NB8. We have also put the UN questions high on the agenda and established the digitalization and energy sector as important topics. The Nordic Baltics are countries, European leaders, countries that are European leaders in digitalization. And we can work even harder together to make sure that this is a competitive edge in the future for the whole region. And we look at how closer cooperation can give value added by creating more jobs, more services, and better opportunities for the people of these countries, but also to make the voice from this region more heard in the international community. Thank you.
And then we take the Latvian Prime Minister, please.
Thank you. Kiitos. Dear journalists, dear friends, it is a pleasure to be here among like-minded friends. Once again, I am convinced that we share here common values and we have same regional and strategic interest in the Nordic-Baltic family. Since Estonia holds currently the presidency of the Council of the European Union, I had the opportunity to lead our discussion about where we stand today and where we would like to be by the end of the year in the European Union. First, together, we have kicked the digital snowball rolling. Digital Europe is our common priority. We have approved 5G declaration, Thailand declaration on e-government, and we also have Nordic-Baltic 5G strategy in place. I'm glad that both the governments and the people, but first of all, people trust the digital transformation. We have achieved this because we put security always first. Second, we care about the welfare of our people. We will be signing the social pillar in Gothenburg in just a few weeks. And third, we should not forget our Eastern partners. Their security, economic growth and welfare make also Europe a safer place, and the European Union should contribute to it. I am looking forward to a successful Eastern Partnership Summit in the end of November in Brussels. All in all, I think Europe and the Nordic-Baltic region within Europe is doing better than a few years ago. We have economy in growing, unemployment is decreasing, and there is much more optimism. We should continue in the spirit and stay united while solving on common challenges like migration, hybrid threats, and disinformation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then I would like to give the word for the Latvian Prime Minister, please.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, hello. Let me first of all thank the Norwegian Prime Minister for successful presidency of NB8 and would like to thank the Finnish Prime Minister for the cordial welcome to Helsinki. Today, indeed, we discussed a number of areas of common interest among our NBA countries, and one of such areas of common interest is security. Baltic and Nordic countries are paying increasing attention to strengthening of regional security. I am happy that this summer the arrival of NATO EFP battle groups was fully implemented, thus implementing the decisions that were adopted by NATO in Wales and Warsaw during the summits. And all in all, the arrival of the battle group was a part of the larger Eastern flank deterrence policy, and Latvia is doing what it's required to do in terms of developing the necessary infrastructure as a host country. Of course, we are closely monitoring the Russian-Belarusian joint military exercise up in 2017. The analysis of the training will continue, and we will analyze this training together with our allies. However, this exercise or training shows that the attempts to destabilize the Euro-Atlantic situation are a part of a long-term policy, and we have to be ready for it. Zapad 2017 is not just an isolated incident. It is a part of the Russian behavior post-Ukraine and post-Crimean annexation. One of the problems that we faced is lack of information about the military training scenarios, the scope and the size of the troops involved in the training that is conducted by the NATO border, as well as hybrid threats and different cyber attack on our media space, shows that Russia is firmly set on compromising or undermining NATO. These factors, of course, require our active contribution to the joint NATO deterrence and defense policy, and the hybrid center in Helsinki will hopefully contribute to greater security.
Good afternoon. First of all, let me thank the Prime Minister of Finland for the opportunity to be here. And on this occasion, I would like to extend the greetings to the people of Finland, who will celebrate the centennial of Finland's declaration of independence on the 6th of December. I also thank the Norwegian Prime Minister for the chairmanship of our today's meeting. The cooperation between the Nordic and Baltic countries has a strategic importance for Lithuania. We highly appreciate the active dialogue and close cooperation in this format. Energy sector remains a priority sector for Lithuania. Power links with Sweden, Poland and Finland have, for the first time since joining the European Union, turned Lithuania and the other Baltic countries from the energy island into the energy centre. Since 2016, the power link with Sweden allows us to directly participate in the Nordic electricity market. That had a significant impact on the drop of electricity prices in the region. We devote special attention, and we will continue to do so, to the project for the synchronization of the Baltic networks with the grid of continental Europe. Thank you.
Very much, and then it's the turn of Iceland, please.
Yes, thank you. It is indeed an excellent tradition to have the Nordic-Baltic meeting amongst the prime ministers during the Nordic Council gathering, that's for sure. Our meeting today was both informative and useful, and has already been stated. Yeah, it was a good meeting. We discussed various matters and issues, and we view the NB8 cooperation to be of great value. It is dynamic and continues to strengthen and deepen year by year. And because I see none of the journalists from Iceland, we have decided that I take all the questions for my colleagues here. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Then we have the Prime Minister of Sweden, please.
So, thank you very much. You can have my statement as well. Okay. No, I'm very happy to be, obviously, among Nordic and Baltic friends. We share many areas of concern, so these are very important meetings to develop this cooperation. Earlier today, we discussed how we can develop this Nordic-Baltic cooperation, and Sweden will use its presidency also to look for synergies in regards to the chairmanship that we have in other regional councils, such as the Arctic Council and others as well. So we believe there are synergies that can give us even more cooperation between the Nordic and Baltic countries. We have discussed EU affairs, of course, and Estonia is now more than halfway through its presidency, and we have all underlined what an extraordinary good job Estonia has done during its presidency. It's a complex, a very tough job, but Estonia has done an extraordinary job. We've also discussed the transatlantic relations, which we all believe are very important relations for us, and it's regarding security, of course, but also jobs and growth. Finally, last but not least, I've updated my colleagues on Sweden's efforts and work in the United Nations Security Council. We are working tirelessly to uphold the respect for a rule-based international order, and we all agree that these global challenges that we have, the problems, demands global solutions as well. So the Nordic-Baltic states, I think, also illustrates the benefit of a good cooperation with our excellent partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then Prime Minister of Denmark, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nothing much to add, but that simply proves that we look eyes to eyes on most topics. But then again, you shouldn't pass the floor to a politician if you're not ready to listen to a speech. So let me take this opportunity to thank the Norwegian presidency and the Finnish host for a very useful and pleasant meeting. We discussed, among other things, as Stefan just mentioned, our transatlantic cooperation. And I think it is more important than ever, even though it is challenged in certain ways. The US remain vital to all of us, vital for our security and our welfare, and the cowardly attack in New York yesterday is just the latest reminder that the threat of terror is very real. We also share the need to safeguard the progress we see in Europe on increasing growth and decreasing migration. I think that we should avoid to risk weakening this momentum by overambitious new projects. Continued Nordic-Baltic cooperation is very important to effectively deal with the challenge arising from Russia's disregard of international principles for security in the Baltic region. On the topic of energy security, Denmark strongly supports the energy union as well as the efforts to ensure the security of energy supply to the Baltic states. And then finally, we discussed, which I think is one of the most important topics, cyber threats and misinformation. This is an issue we are confronted with and need to tackle, and I just want to welcome the initiative taken by Finland to establish this hybrid center of excellence, and I just informed my Finnish colleague that I have instructed my Minister of Defense to ensure that Denmark can pay a contribution to this center. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you very much. And then Prime Minister of Finland, please.
Thank you. I would like to welcome also our Baltic friends to Helsinki. It's a great pleasure for me to host our closest neighbors here in Helsinki when we are celebrating our 100 years of independence. We have celebrated the whole year, so this is nothing new in Finland. We have had about 5,000 official occasions already in Finland, and there's quite many to go. As we heard, we have had very good and useful discussion. It's a pleasure to share some views and conclusions with you. I start with the Arctic issues. We put a lot of importance with this sector, as we all know that the importance of the Arctic region is growing all the time. In energy, another important topic for all of us is bio and circular economy. We should take a leadership in this sector together with the Nordic Baltic region. We should be well connected, innovative and competitive in this sector. Then I will continue with the sector which is also personally very close to me, digitalization. It has been a natural and important topic in the Nordic-Baltic perspective. I believe that we can be leaders and show the way also in Europe in this sector. Thanks to Estonia, the Tallinn summit was an excellent example about this. Concerning this, we discussed also more about hybrid threats. New technologies combined with the increased international tension have made hybrid influencing a security challenge for us. However, we have had a good development in countering those threats. I am pleased to note that EU and NATO member states have shown very much interest towards the hybrid center established here in Helsinki, and we welcome also Denmark to join us. We also have to remember that the internet and digitalization offer us endless social and economical possibilities, so it's very important also to defend a universal, free and secure internet. These were my main points from the discussion today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we have time just for a few questions. And we have the Estonian Broadcasting Company starting.
Armi Alan, the Estonian Broadcasting Corporation. And my question goes mostly for Nordic Prime Minister, but of course Baltic ones can add if they want. So yesterday we were introduced to a public research what gives stronger mandate for Nordic cooperation and also stronger mandate for cooperation in the fields of defense and security politics. There were some hints that we must improve also Nordic-Baltic defense and security policy. Are there any concrete plans or agendas how to do it for the nearest future? Thank you.
Okay. Well, I can start by saying that we do have a program for it where we are working on it. We are working on the air policing of the Baltic at a rotational basis between the countries. We are participating in Lithuania now in the NATO forces that are there for the stability and enhanced presence projects. And of course, we have the last years inside NATO done much more on security planning for the region here. But we don't have broader new types of program than that. It's quite broad already with the military presence that we have, at least from Norway's side. I also think other countries are participating in this. And the air patrol system we have done for decades, which is a continuous work we will do.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I think the survey you just referred to proves that our people realize that we are living in a different security environment, and this is something we have to take very seriously. And we are doing our utmost. We will deploy 200 Danish soldiers to Estonia next year as a part of the enhanced forward presence, and we will deploy 4 F-16 air policing in the Baltic states located in Lithuania. And I think, as we also touched upon on an earlier press conference this morning, we need to ensure as strong a cooperation between NATO and Finland and Sweden as possible.
Does anyone else want to comment on that? Or?
I think we covered it.
Okay, then we have time just for one more question. EU Observer, please.
Yes, Ms. Løkke from EU Observer.
Hold on a second, we have a microphone for you.
So, Ms. Løkke from EU Observer. We are celebrating Finland's 100 years of independence this year, and some countries, the Baltics, have gained independence much later and by referendum, I believe. So my question to you would be, if you think there is a risk to security and to stability in Europe, should Barcelona and Catalonia also gain such independence? And also, is there some way that the Nordic countries perhaps could help mediate the current conflict with all the traditions that the Nordic countries have in mending conflicts, maybe even before they become really bad conflicts?
Okay, thank you very much. To save some time, I propose that we take the Norway as a presidency country for the Nordic Council of Ministers and then Estonia as a presidency country for EU. Please go ahead.
Well, I think all the Nordic countries have the same view, that this is a matter that is up to Spain, you know, to solve, and it's their responsibility, and that we are supporting the integrity of the Spanish as a country, and that it's they who will have to find their solutions. And since we had this small history lesson this morning, we learned that the three of us here did not support the independence before it was solved with Russia. Yes, that was when we accepted Finland as a free country. It was not before. So it's maybe it's the type we have to find peaceful solutions to problems like this, and it has to be representative of the people. And it's Spain who is the country that has to solve this and be in lead. I don't see a mediation process around this at the current time.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, we would like to wish all the best to Finland, their 100 years on celebration. We have here two Tuesday signs. It's like 200. I mean, Estonia and Finland. But I understand the second part of your question about Catalonia and Spain. I think here is a very concrete answer, and we support Spanish unity. Spain is a democratic country based on rule of law, and I'm sure that Spain solves this issue according to its constitution and also legislation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prime Ministers. Thank you, everyone else. Have a very nice day. Thank you. Bye.